stressed. You were always favored, and you were always blessed. It's all about that. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. We better day by day. Hot girls healing. We doing it our way. Hot girls healing. And it goes on and on. And when it all goes wrong, we'll celebrate so nothing's gonna hold us down. And it goes on and on. The healing takes it all. But we are proud and strong. Nothing's gonna hold us down. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing. Hot girls healing.
Hello to my absolutely gorgeous healing community. Wow. The Hot Girls Healing Podcast first season has come to a conclusion with today's episode, Trusting Your Divine Path. Now, I'm your host, Salenna Green. And the reason why I decided to have this episode be titled Trusting Your Divine Path is because, and you may be able to decipher this on your own if you've been listening to the season thus far, because this whole podcast, and everything that has come from it are directly related to what I believe is my divine path. I feel that I am meant to share my healing journey and to create space for healing in my community. And I just feel so proud of myself and so proud of the community that I've built since engaging on this particular path. But yeah, yes, your girl is on it, and I feel it. I'm very excited. I feel very blessed. I feel very grateful for everything that has come from me starting this podcast. But child, let's get into it. I wrote a little agenda because I know I don't like talking to myself. But I think it's important that I end the season alone, like I started it, just me and my healing community. While we love our guests and we value them so much, this is a little special one-on-one between me and you. So, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. Thank you for supporting what I'm trying to do. Thank you for watching this video on YouTube or listening to it whatever platform you're using. Thank you so much, because if no one was listening to the podcast, I would stop, and I'm just going to be real with you. So thank you so much, because you're keeping me going. What this has meant to me is just so much. I don't know about y'all, but I have struggled with trusting, myself and trusting what I think or know really that I should do. There's always so much self-doubt or outside criticisms that can then become internalized, that have in the past stopped me from pursuing things that I really wanted to do. And that didn't happen this time. So I'm really proud of that. There's so many people who are a part of why I came to do this. And there's so many people who are part of any success story. Any one person's success story or successful act always has so much support and community behind it. And the more I live that, the more I celebrate it, because it's so beautiful. We are truly all that we have, but we're also all that we need. It's just this this gorgeous wholeness that we are together in community. And I just love that so much. I'm also really proud to be able to hold this space. Not only this space that is centering a Black queer person, but that centers Black queer people, that, a space that loves Black queer people. And in this whole child, look, if you're Black and queer, I don't got to tell you, but for everybody else, this is not always a safe world. It can feel like you wake up and the whole world hates you for absolutely no reason. Once I'm not even going to go down that path because we all know what it is, but it can be very hard. And so to be able to hold space for my community that is safe, that is soft, that is loving, where we can just, get in a good kiki, and exist outside of capitalism means a lot to me. And I celebrate this space and I celebrate every other space that exists for healing, that is led by Black and brown people. I'm just so here for the Black wellness movement. I'm happy to be a part of it. The other part of what means so much to me about this process of starting the Hot Girls Healing podcast and everything that I've begun to do since then is that, I feel like I'm blazing my own path. And that is something that I've always wanted to do. And it's not something that I ever felt like I was actually doing. Or if I felt like I was doing it at some point, I was quickly reminded by the universe or by, signs, signals, or people that I was in fact not blazing my own. But now, your girl done started something and it feels amazing. And it feels like I can be an encouragement to other people in a more healthy way than I was being it before. I just felt like I really needed to prove to people that I believed in them, and by proving to them I believed in them, and then I had to do, this, that, and the other, or perform in this way. And there's just so much more healthy balance between myself and other people's passions now that I really have, my own passion and my own path that I'm blazing. So this road thus far, so much has happened. So I started this podcast in March of 2023. I'm filming this episode in August of 2023. And I genuinely feel like my entire life has changed without a ton changing in my material circumstances. A lot of the change has been internal. I've gone through some things. I've, faced what I felt to be betrayal. I've hit what I see to be my rock bottom. I've experienced love. I've experienced community. I've experienced deep care. I've experienced a rebirth of sorts since starting this podcast. And I cannot tell you how hard it was. It was not easy. There were literally days where I was just like, okay, well, I'm going to just go ahead and exist today. And I think that is going to be a win for me. So if you're out there just existing and that's your win, claim it. There's more to come, because I've slowly started to really see my life from the bird's eye view. In the past, because of trauma, because of survival, because of poverty, child, the system of capitalism has not been kind to my people. I felt really caught up. I felt stuck before. I felt like despite everything that I've tried to do to change my circumstances, it wasn't adding up to anything really. It wasn't leading to anything. And having changed my perspective to see things in a more long-term way, to really just claim my small joys and not worry about everything else, has really freed me up. I feel freedom, y'all. I feel freedom and focus because I know what to direct my energy towards and what to leave alone. And look, I feel better, look better because of it. there's a different energy that you carry yourself with when you're not exhausting yourself over nonsense. But I really have claimed some amazing things for myself. I really stepped into my role as a speaker. I began to MC and host. So if you're in the Seattle area or beyond and willing to fly somebody out, okay, call me, beat me if you want to reach me. Because I am here to bring personality, pizzazz, and some real love, to your event, gathering, celebration, what have you. I think that what I really found in this process of putting myself out there more and more is that I'm actually quelling my anxieties, especially since 2022, but even before then, I've had a lot of anxiety, and I found that anxiety credits itself in my body, and it makes my body react in certain ways that I didn't know anxiety. I found that since I've built community and since I've put myself out there more through my podcast and now through emceeing and hosting, I'm starting to feel more safe. I'm starting to feel more solid in my own body. Like, somebody talk to me about this because I know there's somebody out there who knows exactly what I'm talking about. But there's this sense of quietness and stillness within me that I didn't have before. And it feels so good. Again, thank you for everybody in my healing community, because without y'all, I don't know. I don't know if I could have done it by myself. I'm so grateful for you all. You're not trying to make me feel feelings and you're not even here. Excuse you. Let me get into what I can expect for next season, because I didn't come here to feel all this. Well, no, yeah, I'm having so much fun. I feel like I'm a completely different person, but the person that I've always been at the same time. I feel like there were a lot of events in my life, especially 2020 and beyond, that made me drift away from who I am and who I've always been meant to be. And this process of reclaiming that has come through tears and sweat and work, but it is so worth it. I feel ready and prepared to confront myself. I feel ready and prepared to claim the blessings that this life has for me, because I know that there's so many blessings in this life. And it doesn't always have to look like something big and significant. I'm finding the joy in the little things again. And I'm finding that this joy in the little things and this constant state of gratitude that I find myself in, that is abundance. That is luxury to me, to just exist in contentment. Despite everything that this world wants from me, child, look, I'm thriving emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Ashe. Now, what y'all can expect for next season is more of me. I will be in conversation again next season with some amazing people in my community. I am so excited for some of these conversations. Now, some of them were conversations that I wanted to have in first season, but everything works in divine timing. And so conversations that weren't ready to be had in the first season will be happening in the second season. New conversations that I found myself having since I began will also be happening in the second season. I met some really cool people in the podcasting community. I've met even more amazing people in the performing community, the emceeing community, which I used to already be in the creative community as a dancer. I do have a background in dance and performance, so I'm seeing a lot of my friends again, and it's really nice. But now I'm like getting to book them for shows and things like that. So I'm just loving how everything is evolving. I'm loving getting back out in the community and seeing my people who I haven't seen in a while. And even grateful for, the 9 to 5 that I gotta work, to support it all. Because ultimately, all of this works together for the benefit of me, and I am forever grateful. So, conversations that you can look forward to in season 2, we're going to be talking about like friendship breakups. I remember that one, like, I was just too tender. Like, I've been through a lot of friendship breakups. They have looked like a lot of different things. Sometimes it's been, my decision, sometimes it's been other people's choice. And so I was like, I need some more time to just gather my little emotions. But I'm going to be ready to talk about friendship breakups next season. I also wanted to get into more things like Pilates, and I still haven't really gotten to get into my pole dancing journey with y'all yet. So I really want to talk about that entire journey and kind of just reclaiming my body as someone who has been highly sexualized throughout my life. I was tall, fast growing up. Child, I was not interested in nobody or nothing as a kid. I was heavily policed in what I could wear. As a teenager, I wasn't allowed to wear certain things until I was 16 or 18. I don't know. I felt like it was a lot of unnecessary things that really made me just internalize negative messages about my body. And like, a lot of things have happened in my life, and then having had those messages earlier on really just reinforced that things are my fault that were never were. And so it's just been an entire journey of just kind of reclaiming my body, reclaiming the fact that my body can exist in any amount of clothing and not be inherently sexual is just so huge for me. And it was so healing of a process. I really want to talk more about it. I also want to start releasing like more pole videos, but that's a separate thing. The child dancing can be incredibly healing, and that is something that I want to get more into talking about. Like I said, Pilates as well has been something that's huge for me. I know there was like something about Black girls and Pilates that I was hearing about on social media. Like there was some type of riffraff about it. I don't know too much about it because I didn't really read into it, but I know that I heard people talking about Black girls and Pilates classes. Now, I am a home practitioner for my Pilates and yoga, so I don't usually go out and do a class. I'll usually do, an online video, or if I have a gym membership and I'm actually going, I'll just do my Pilates or yoga myself because I've actually been doing them. I was introduced to Pilates and yoga through dance when I was in middle and high school. So, yeah, I don't really get into the classes. I don't know what the outside yoga and Pilates culture is like, but I found a lot of healing. These practices have led me to a lot of mindfulness and breath work, which has been really big for me in calming my anxieties and centering myself, calling certain energies to myself, like peace or security, whatever it may be that I feel like, I'm lacking. I will also take time to do my affirmations while I'm doing yoga or Pilates. So there's just a lot in the space that has provided room for me to heal and to be still. And I would like to share that as well. We're also going to be talking about sister circles. Now, again, in building friendships, a lot of breakups, right? These breakups then lead to a whole friendship group or solid sister circle for a long time. Like, I genuinely feel like it was at 28, 29 where I really finally built that circle of girlies that, see me for who I am and accept me for who I am, and also want to, uplift as well. Like, that is one thing that I really, really love about my girls. Like, we are always here for each other. We will be references on a resume. We will book each other for shows. If someone is really going through something, we had a recent injury in our group, and we rally around each other. People were calling into doctor's appointments. Like, it's just, I love it. I love it. It really is community. It really is sisterhood. And I want to talk about that too. It's not just about, the friendships that didn't work out and the lessons that you learned. It's also about what you took from those lessons and how you applied it to those relationships going forward, So it's ultimately happy ending. And I also want to talk more about spirituality in the next season. I haven't opened up about it as much because, I'm for so lots of podcasts, turn me into a more private person. And so, especially things that mean a lot to me, I'm a lot less willing to show it. Like, it took years for me to do this podcast because it's not just that I had, negative thoughts about, like, only negative thoughts to hear me have to say, my opinions about your experience. Because, yeah, sure, absolutely, I'd internalize those thoughts. But it was also just like a deep African American want for people to mind their own business. So it's like, how do you want people to mind their own business, but you're inviting them into yours? So that's kind of what has led to this little delay in that. But I do want to talk about my spirituality and my practices and what has kind of, what I found, through my blood rites and getting to know my ancestors and more about their practices. I've always known African Americans have magic. I'm learning more about, the relationship between how things change from what our ancestors were practicing on the continent and, how that traveled, across the, the slave routes. And then when our ancestors were enslaved, what that looked like. And then how it changed even, once our ancestors freed themselves from enslavement and how that then, changed. All of it has been extremely interesting to me. I actually love history. That's part of why my episode from this season with Beverly Jenkins, if you haven't listened to it, Black Romance, definitely go back and listen to that. I loved that so much because speaking with one of our community's elders and just hearing from her our histories and how she learned about them and how they incorporated into our stories, like, I live. I literally live. Because they lived. So it's just huge. Like, I love it. So much about our ancestors. Probably going to get more into those conversations as well in the new season. And then also, I will have rooms. So comment. Let me know what you want to hear me talk about. Let me know if there's someone that you would want me to be in conversation with, because I'd love to hear that too. I ain't want to hold y'all, so I'm going to wrap this up. But I do want to say again how grateful I am. Thank you so much, community. I feel incredibly blessed. I feel like the universe is smiling on me. My ancestors are like, finally, this child doing what they're supposed to be doing. Because, I got Taurus moon and I can be stubborn. But I feel like we're on this together. My little sister was obsessed with High School Musical, so I know that song. But I love y'all, and I feel the love, and I really, really, really appreciate all that we've done together, all that we're going to do together. I really see a larger vision for the Hot Girls Healing Movement. I am going to be debuting the Hot Girl Self-Love Workshop this summer, which I'm really, really excited for. Now, as I've said before, the girls are not always girls. This workshop is open to everyone. It is so deeply important that we are intentional about our relationships to ourselves and that we are our own best friend. Self-love is truly the best love. Self-love is what enables us to truly love others. I stand in that. That's in my soapbox. We need to love ourselves so that we can better love others. And I'm going to leave y'all with that. Trust your divine path. Claim it. Do what you know you are here and meant to do, and you will experience so much more joy and ease in life. Promise. All right. This has been the first season of the Hot Girls Healing Podcast. I'm your host, Salenna Green, and I will see you next season. Love y'all. Bye.